Hey guys, it's Sara. Every time that I teach composite and prime numbers to my students, I start by asking them one question. Which are there more of? Are there more composite numbers or are there more prime numbers? And immediately, without thinking, they all are like, oh, there are more composite numbers than there are prime numbers. But are there really? In the world of rational numbers, we like to divide numbers into different categories. Two of such categories are prime and composite numbers. Some of these numbers are prime numbers, some of these numbers are composite numbers. Some of these are neither, like 0, or 1, or pi. I love pi. It's not really a rational number, so I don't know why I should use that. So before we start talking about which there is more of, let's review what these two things actually are. A prime number is a number that can only be divided by two things. It can be divided by 1 and itself. Like the number 5, for example. It can be divided by 1 and get 5, and it can be divided by 5 and get 1. Those are the only two things that it can be divided by and still get a whole number. A composite number is a number that has more than two factors, like 24, for example. 24 has the factors 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, and 24. That's 8 factors. Because it has more than two factors, it is a composite number. So back to the question, are there more prime numbers or are there more composite numbers? Well, let's look at a sample size. Let's take 1 to 5, okay? 1 is neither. 2 is a prime number, 3 is a prime number, 5 is a prime number. You have 3 prime numbers, 1 that is neither, and then there is 4. That is the only composite number. So it would seem like there are more prime numbers than composite numbers, right? No, that is not right. You do not use a sample size of only 5 things. That is a terrible thing to do. So let's take a larger sample size. Let's say 1 to 100. From 1 to 100, there are 25 prime numbers, 74 composite numbers, and then there is one that is neither, which is 1. 1's the odd one out. Get it? Because it's odd. And if you notice, as the numbers get larger, there are fewer and fewer prime numbers. So it would stand to reason that as your sample size gets larger, let's say instead of 1 to 100, from 1 to 1,000, that there would be even fewer prime numbers. However, what do we know about numbers? They continue on and on and on forever, right? They're an infinite amount of numbers, which means that there is an infinite amount of composite numbers because you can always take 2 and multiply it by the number before it and get an even larger number. And according to Euclid, there isn't a largest prime number. So that makes you think that there's also an infinite amount of prime numbers, right? Interesting fact, as of January this year, the largest prime number recorded was 2 to the 74,207,281st power minus 1. So if there's an infinite amount of composite numbers and an infinite amount of prime numbers, can we really say which one there is more of? Which leads to the discussion then, are some infinities really larger than other infinities? And my answer is yes. Using Cantor's diagonalization, you can take an infinite amount of rational numbers and create an infinite amount of rational numbers from that group of rational numbers. Look it up. It's pretty interesting. So infinity, while it is talking about numbers and how they go on forever and ever, it's really kind of an abstract idea. So are there more composite numbers or are there more prime numbers? I'm not really sure. I like to think that there are more composite numbers, but I'm not the person who knows that. And if you are that person who does know, please let me know in the comments below where I can go to learn more about this. My question for you this week is, what is a math concept that you know of that you have a really hard time wrapping your mind around? And in future episodes, I might talk more about it because that's what I went to school for, is to teach people some math and science. That's it for this episode of Shower Thoughts. I had a lot of fun just thinking about infinity and about prime and composite numbers, and probably had more fun than you probably did. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please let me know. Please like and subscribe to this video. You can follow me on Twitter or Tumblr. The links for that are in the description below. And until next time, I will see you when I see you.